In line with all that we do with American phrasal verbs on this channel, we have a set of phrasal verbs that are actually really interesting, really rich in culture and all kinds of things for you today. We have 16 phrasal verbs of hard work and diligence.
Let's do it. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Whiteboard Friends English. Let's just jump right in with the first one being plow through these phrasal verbs in this video.
Yes, it comes from plowing fields. It comes from all the hard work and gruelingness and consistency it takes to get through plowing with a horse and a plow. And so we also use this as a phrasal verb. To plow through something means you're putting hard work into something. It's consistent, it's hard, it's grueling, but it's consistent, and you have to do it to get to the other side. So that's what plow through means.
Sometimes you can also use this for like the physical action of like running through something. So if a person like plows through a door or something like that, that means they literally crash through the door.
Plows through a crowd of people, like they just barreling through there. And it doesn't mean it's hard work necessarily to go through something. Plow through has something to do with the row that is left behind you, with the opening and the space left behind you. Whereas plow through in work is to like get the work done, and everything that's behind you is finished work, but you are working really hard at it. So there's a little bit of a different nuance on both sides, but plow through is a great phrasal verb to have.
Next one is to get ahead. Like, let's work really hard this week so we can get ahead, because next week I plan on taking a holiday.
Do you?
No. I don't.
To get ahead means you're working ahead of something. To get ahead can also be referred to that process of getting there. So you are getting ahead, meaning that you are trying to get there. But it can also emphasize the fact that you are actually in position, you are progressing ahead of where you should be. So it's kind of both. And that's kind of hard to pick up, but if you're an advanced speaker, you should know what I mean.
Next one is buckle down. For example, we need to buckle down and get this done because it's due on Friday.
We better hurry up. Buckle down can also be used in a very physical sense, meaning you're buckling the kids down. It kind of implies that they're fighting and they don't want to buckle up their seatbelts in the car. So if you say like, no, I'm going to buckle you down, and because you have to, it's the law, that kind of implies that they're trying to struggle to get out. So you can use buckle down in a physical sense, but you can also use it to bear down on, okay, to buckle down on somebody to make sure they follow the rules or they follow the law and things can move forward. So we've got different nuances for this word, but those are three of the major ones.
Next one is hammer away at, which just means to do something consistently and make forward progression on something.
Not just that though, but with intensity. It's kind of like you're not giving up, you're just going and going and going. You're not letting up any, you're not doing it any less. Think of it kind of like you're like hammering away at. We could also use this for punching, by the way. But you can hammer away at something physically by just hitting it repeatedly over and over and over. That's to hammer down on something or hammer away at something. But we can use it in a non-physical sense, in the sense of work and diligence, meaning that I'm just hammering away at my studies. Like I'm just knocking things out, task after task after task. That's one of those phrasal verbs to definitely understand the nuance of before you use it. The next one is press on. And that means that you're going to keep going. So let's press on with our work. Maybe you and the team were working on a project and you're just hammering away at it. And then you stop to take a coffee break and just relax for a little bit. And then when it's time to get going, you press on, meaning you head back into it, head back into the fray a little bit. It means it's a lot of work, right? Press on means you're pushing against something against you, whether it's an obstacle or whether it's something that's coming against you, whatever it is, you're pressing on, meaning you are continuing forward.
What's good about this word is it has past meaning along with it. So I think of like hiking on a trail. You take a little bit of a break. You already did a lot of work, and then you take a little bit of a break, and then you press on for the summit or something like that. So press on has the idea of you've already done a lot of work before. Let's keep going. Let's get it done.
There's a lot more work ahead. The next one is keep at it. And if you listen to English very much, you probably heard this one. We like to say keep at it as like a keep going, that kind of sense. Keep at it means to keep going.
Something that's weird about this is that at normally means like here, like I am at this place. And so it's weird to be like keep at it. Keep doing what you're doing is what we mean to say. With the process that you're currently doing right now, do that some more. But at is seemingly fixed location, so it's a weird that it's a process. But I think it's because it's that process is the thing that we're continuing to be at, that line.
Prepositions are very strange, and sometimes they take on a meaning that is not their literal meaning. If you notice, we said hammer away at. right? And this is a sense that we use at in when we say keep at it. It's kind of that same sense. It's related. You can also say going at it. You can also describe somebody as just going at it. If they're hammering away at something, if they are just knocking task after task out, you could say, oh, that person, they're a beast. They keep going at it, right? They just keep going and going and going, and they don't really stop. They don't go at a leisurely pace. It's kind of the same sense of at. But why would we say keep at it instead of keep going?
They are quite synonymous. Keep going, keep at it. But I feel like at shows more of the state of just you're in this intense state of work. You're just trying to be diligent, you're working, you're just going, and that's the state you're at. Keep being there. Keep being at that state. The next one is crank out. Like, let's crank out as many of these phrasal verbs as we can.
So a crank, I want you to think of like a handle bar, and you turn it. You crank something in order to open something or to lift something up, whatever it is. So to crank out things means it's kind of like you're doing the work. You're doing the grind, and it's consistently pushing out product. It's consistently producing a result. We wouldn't say, I'm cranking out burpees or anything. We wouldn't say that. That's not how we apply it. But if it's creating something like a tangible product or a service that you could just see, like your work here, your consistent, diligent work here results in this service that can be sold or this product that can be sold, then that's to crank out. We can also use it for things like canning. In midsummer, we have this culture of canning in some places in America where you have a garden, you take your produce, you process it, and then you put it into jars with a brine, or you could put it with some seasonings, flavorings, and stuff like that. And you could put it into a jar and you put it in a canner and you boil it to pressure to seal it. And then we put these jars in our pantries and we can eat out of those things. So when you are canning, it feels like you're cranking out food all the time. You're dealing with food, you're processing all that food, and you're just cranking out jars of food that you can eat from for the rest of the year. It's a way that we preserve our food for winter. Not every American does this, by the way. It's just a cultural thing where we are from. That's the way that I probably apply it the most, because that is grueling work. But it produces something that we can see and recognize, and it's tangible. So that's cranking out.
Another one is pull through. And what that means is a person was able to come through to the other side. Like they were able to push through. They were able to keep going. They were able to keep at it. And now they're kind of on the other side. So he pulled through at the last minute. I can't believe it, but our taxes are done. Praise the Lord.
But you can also say to pull someone through. Like if I didn't have that help pull me through doing my taxes, I still would be doing them. It would be so much more difficult. That's kind of the idea here. So pull through can be somebody is pulling you through, but it could also be to pull through. And usually it's someone else talking about somebody coming through something that's very difficult. Yeah. So make sure that pull through is something very difficult.
Similar to this is pull off. So pull through a process, pull through a grueling, maybe 3-week or 3-month long process. That's kind of pull through. There's this tunnel that they have to get through. But to pull off is more of an achievement. Like, I can't believe he pulled that off. That's amazing.
And it's kind of like a surprise. We can ask it in a question like, how are we going to pull that off? Meaning like, I don't see a clear way to do this. So if it happens, it would be miraculous is kind of the idea. So how did he pull that off? Basically, how did he do it? It's kind of what this means. How are we going to pull that off? Like, how are we going to do that? It's going to be like pulling a rabbit out of your hat or something, like a magician's trick. But that's kind of the idea.
Next one is churn out. We've actually done this one in a previous video, but it is a very good phrasal verb to describe the production of something, keeping going and having some hard work and diligence to crank out or to churn out a product.
Yes, and this is not turn out. We emphasized that in the last video we did as well, but turnout is different than churn out. Another one that we have for you today is to cruise through something. So cruise can be like a big ship where you go on a cruise, but it could also be a cruise setting. If you're going on a highway and you're going consistent speed for hundreds of miles, you might turn on the cruise setting and just let it coast, basically. You're still steering it, but you're letting the speed stay the same. It's easier on the car. If you cruise through something, it means that you're just setting it on, you're just going on autopilot, basically. Not really autopilot. You're still doing the things, you're still going through the steps, but you're going through a set of predictable steps and you're just cruising. Like you're not having to put a lot of new innovative thought into it. You're not having to be super creative or on the ball. You're just doing what is expected. You're doing what you need to do and you just keep going. And that's productive. So to cruise through your tasks for the day means it's pretty easy. It's not that it's always easy. It's just simple. You don't have to put a lot of new thought into it. Just keep going. Very similar to cruise, we can also call that coasting when you're coasting in your car. We can call it a coasting setting as well. It's kind of both. But to coast, not like the seaside coast, but to coast is you basically turn on that automatic setting and you stay in that speed. So we can use this when we're talking about work. We could use it when we're talking about life in general. We can say like, I'm just coasting. I'm coasting along. Yeah. That's kind of the idea here is you're just taking it as it comes and you're moving on. You're not putting any more or less effort at any given time. You're just going, just doing it, just coasting.
One that's very similar to that is to breeze through or to breeze along. And especially breeze through, again, it has this idea that it's not going to be super gusty. It's not going to be super hard. It's not going to be super dangerous or difficult. It's going to be easy, like a nice, gentle breeze that you just breeze through all your work. It's like almost effortless how easy the tasks have been for you today.
Right. Which cruise through doesn't have to be effortless. It can still take some work, but it's predictable work. It's stuff that you know what's going to do. You have all the steps. It's just 1, 2, 3. You've got it. To breeze through something means like you're going through it fast because it's effortless. That's kind of the idea. So if you breeze through your homework for the day, that homework might have been pointless. The other form of this word is to breeze along. And this basically kind of like the camera, instead of just watching you zoom by doing your task, it's kind of like it's going along with you. That's kind of the perspective I want you to get with breeze along. But to breeze along in your tasks is very much to just keep going along with it. And you're still doing it. It's not like you're through, you're not done with it. You're not getting through and then finishing completely. It's not emphasizing that. It's just along with you. It's not emphasizing the beginning or the end. It just means that you're on track with it. You're doing so quickly.
The next one is get ahead of. And this specifically has this idea of get ahead of someone else or some kind of opposition. So whether it's looming tax season as being the opposition or your competitor specifically that says, hey, they're developing a new console. We have to get ahead of them. Otherwise, we're going to be left behind and everybody's going to buy their game console and not ours. Something that is an amazing feeling to have is to have a breakthrough or to break through some type of opposition. You've been working and working and working and working for years on YouTube or on businesses. You've been working for a while, and so finally you have this breakthrough where you have this success or this new information, this epiphany that you can then use.
So you have a breakthrough, which is a noun, but then you also have a breakthrough idea or a breakthrough plan. Okay, that's going to be an adjective, but then you have to break through, which is a phrasal verb. So if you are wanting to break through an obstacle, you want to break through writer's block, you want to break through some misunderstanding you have or some difficulty you're having with pronunciation. All of those things are the appropriate way to use breakthrough.
The last one is chip away. Like we have to chip away at these phrasal verbs because there's a ton of them. Chip away means to take a little bit at a time. So think of a sculptor chipping away pieces of rock. In order to make something big happen, you have to do a little bit at a time. How do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time, that kind of thing. Chip away means to do something for a long time, diligently, and that's how you largely get success, is you chip away at these tasks.
It's like taking this colossal task, this massive undertaking, and you break it off into little bitty tasks. So you are chipping away at those tasks in order to get the big thing done.
All right, guys, thank you so much for listening in on this phrasal verb video. We do these because they're difficult, especially these specifically. There's so many different contexts. We hope that you heard that between driving and sculpting and just production, like cranking out products. There's so many different contexts that these phrasal verbs reach. And so that's why we go into them. That's why we do these videos, so that you guys can understand that they are absolutely connected to other contexts. They're connected to other vocabulary and other realms that may not be very apparent when you first look at them.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.